I'm gonna introduce you guys. Okay, are you gonna start recording? Oh, you started. Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. I am Valerie Beachley. I'm the College and Career Specialist, and I'm here with Arlene Flores, who's our job developer. She's also going to introduce herself. We are so excited that this is our last webinar of our Essential Skills in the New Economy series that we brought to you on different topics regarding employment, especially during this pandemic, how things have changed so much. And one of the things we wanted to focus on today was on OCAPICA, which stands for Orange County Asian Pacific Islander Community Alliance. It's long, so that's why we call it OCAPICA. And they are our partner, and they are in the mall usually, but we're lucky to have them with us online, and they're going to share with you what they do to help gain employment and other social services. We're joined by Liliana Tang and Nguyen, and they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves before they start their presentation. Let's start with Liliana.
Hi everyone. First off, thank you, Valerie, and to everyone else at Huntington Beach Adult School for giving us this platform to be able to speak to all of you. My name is Lilian, and I'm a case manager or workforce specialist at OCAPICA's Youth Employment Program, where we focus specifically on supporting youth ages 16 to 24 in matters regarding employment and career-related fields. Take it, Annie.
Yes, and you have helped many of our students, so we work really closely together, and this really gives students a jump in life. Our younger folks who maybe didn't graduate on time and need a little extra help getting to college or finding a training or getting a job. So thank you so much for that. Annie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Valerie and Arlene and Jorge. We're really thankful for this partnership with you. As you know, like we can't do our work without, collaborations. So thank you, as Lilian said. My name is Annie. I work at OCAPICA as a program supervisor of policy and civic engagement. And so my work looks a little bit different than Lilian's. Unfortunately, I don't get to be on the ground as often, but we do a lot of advocacy work and really connect with our community members and make sure that they know that they have the right and privilege to engage in the civic process and in all the things that are happening in Orange County, in California, and beyond. So we're really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do for our community. I'm really glad that we have some guests here today from our classes and some outsiders. So you're in for a big treat.
Yes. And, thank you guys again for joining our series and for being here. And we want to give them all the courtesy. So we're going to ask and remind you to please mute your mics. Again, if you have questions, there's the hand, or you can write into the chat bar, and me and Valerie will be monitoring it. Okay? But thank you again. We so appreciate it, and we hope you have found this series very helpful.
Thank you. Okay, ready to go.
Ready to go.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jorge, for managing the tech stuff with all of this. So first off, in terms of what we're going to be discussing today, Annie and I will be going over different services that are available through both OCAPICA and other different agencies and entities throughout Orange County. Especially right now, we know that it is a challenging and uncertain time for everyone, but we really hope that out of this workshop, we'll be able to inform you a little bit more about the assistance that's available out there. There's definitely a lot, and we know that it can be difficult to navigate through all of them, but hopefully through some of the services we do mention, you'll be able to find something that can help you out right now. Organizations and agencies across Orange County right now, we're doing our best to make sure that we're there for our community and supporting them in whatever capacity that we're able to do so right now, especially during this public health crisis that we're all experiencing together. And then before we really begin, Annie and I also just wanted to preface that we're not exactly experts in the services that we'll be mentioning outside of our own programs. However, we will be having contact information for those different services so that you all can take note of it and directly reach out if you need to. All right. So first off, I just want to briefly go over all of the different program services that OCAPICA does offer. We'll also be going through these in more detail throughout the presentation. So first off, with youth employment, which is the program that I come from, we focus specifically on employment and training services for youth ages 16 to 24 that might be experiencing challenges or barriers to employment. We work directly with a lot of different partners throughout Orange County, including Huntington Beach Adult School. So we're always grateful for those partnerships as well. And another program that we have is actually adult workforce. This focuses specifically with adults that might be having challenges in terms of employment as well. It is a partnership with the Orange County Social Services Agency and is a CalWorks program. So they run their program a little bit differently from our youth employment one. But we'll go a little bit more in detail later on. And through OCAPICA as well, we do have programs that focus specifically on mental health. We have short-term mental health counseling and case management services to really help you whether you are currently facing any sort of I know right now is a particularly difficult time, so mental health is super important. And so we are offering services still through telehealth. And we also do have a full wraparound service program that specifically focuses on serving children and their families. And then I can take it over to Annie to discuss the other programs.
Thanks, Lillian. Yeah, so I'll be talking about the policy program, which I work at, and the health program and the youth education program. So the policy program works to increase underrepresented communities' voices in civic engagement and public policy. So activities that we do to engage our community members include things like phone banking, our Orange County voters to make sure that they have all the resources they need in order to vote. We also attend local community events to talk about why the 2020 census is so important. And the biggest thing that we do, though, is we advocate for our communities in local, state, and national capacities. So we know that all of the services that OCAPICA provides, it needs to be sustained in a systemic way. So we need to work together with a lot of different partners and agencies to make sure that we can continue to provide the services that we can. Our health program helps navigate individuals through healthcare system and provide support to many immigrant families. We also help with Covered California or Medi-Cal applications, as well as cancer navigation. And then our youth education program is one of our oldest programs. Right now it's called the High School Allied Health Academy. So it's basically an after-school program that supports and guides students into allied healthcare careers like physical therapy or counseling. And it exposes them to a variety of health professions that may not be the traditional doctor or nurse. And I'll pass it back to Lillian.
Yeah, can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. All right, so briefly, just so that y'all are aware, this is the agenda for today. I'll be talking more in detail about our employment services and other services that you might be able to access currently in terms of employment. And then we'll take it over to Annie, where she'll be discussing further in detail other social services that are available currently. And then we'll just end with a Q&A section. Okay. Next slide. Okay, and so here's the overview. Next slide. All right, so briefly, I just wanted to discuss a little bit about the current challenges and barriers that our communities might be facing right now in terms of finding employment. You know, the first few in terms of being involved in the justice system, high school dropout, being former foster youth, or experiencing homelessness and disabilities are challenges and barriers that people have been facing throughout time, basically. But more recently, of course, with COVID-19, there's been a lot more challenges that our communities are facing in relation to finding employment. So in terms of involvement in the justice system, we understand that it is particularly difficult for our reentry populations to find employment. And also with high school dropouts, we know that it is particularly more difficult to find employment as well, especially in terms of higher paying roles. So in terms of OCAPICA's youth employment program, our program actually focuses on these specific populations in order to help them, one, find job experience and gain job readiness skills so that they're more prepared to enter the workforce, basically. And in terms of COVID-19 related business closures, this has also affected our program as well, as we see a lot of our sites that we work with having to close down due to all of the stay-at-home orders and policies that are in place. But just know that there's support out there as we continue on the presentation, and we'll talk about them. For unemployment, there's been like over 5 million unemployment claims in California itself since March. And we know that the unemployment rate is about 15% right now. So we understand that programs such as ours and other employment services are super important right now. And we're doing our best to make sure that our communities are being supported during these challenging times. Okay, and can you go to the next slide, please? Hey, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about the different services that the youth employment program specifically at OCAPICA offers. So I know I've mentioned that the population that we serve. Some of the services that we do have are one-on-one case management. So me as a case manager, we work directly with every single one of our participants or clients in terms of meeting to their needs, whether it's referring you to other resources, because we do believe in holistic case management. So we try our best, whether it's you're experiencing homelessness and need shelter, or if you are having trouble meeting basic needs, we will try our best to either offer supportive services or refer you to other programs that might be able to help out in those areas or fields. Another component of ours is that as a case manager, we also help in terms of career counseling. Our main focus, since it is employment, we want to make sure that all of our participants have goals set in place in terms of reaching their career dreams and goals. And in terms of short-term of how we serve our participants, a lot of our participants tend to go through the route of getting placed into a component of ours called work experience, or WEX, which is basically a paid internship. We'll place you at one of our dozens of work sites across Orange County, and they vary from like retail jobs, office or clerical work, nonprofit, even museums, things like that, where you'll be able to actually work for up to 300 hours, and your employer will actually be our nonprofit agency. The hope in that is that you do well during that time. You'll be continued to be counseled by both the job developer and your case manager on how to improve at the job. And we hope that it does end up with permanent employment once you finish. We also offer job readiness workshops. These are very important, especially if you're not really you don't really have as much knowledge in terms of what it means to be job ready. So we really want to work on preparing those who enroll into our program before they start working. Another large part of our program is actually focused on educational advising. We have a staff member that focuses specifically on helping our participants in their academics, specifically if they are trying to enroll into post-secondary education, whether that is community college, or if they would like to go to a training or vocational school. And through our program as well, we actually do have the ability to help fund a portion of training or vocational programs that a participant might be interested in. And that's what we call our ITA program, which is just stands for Individual Training Account. And so these are just like a brief overview of all the services that you'll be able to receive through our employment program. Okay. And then next, we also have the adult employment program, which I don't come from. However, these are like a brief overview of what they offer. They do actually have 3 different components to their program. So employment preparation program, work experience, and vocational training. And as I stated earlier, they are in partnership with the social services agency CalWorks Welfare to Work program. So through the adult employment program, participants are able to receive job training and work experience. And really, it's meant for you to build experience so that you can obtain and maintain employment later on. And the length of your employment or training is dependent on what program that you are placed into in the 3. And really the goal for the adult employment program is for participants to achieve economic self-sufficiency. I believe in order to qualify for a CalWorks program, you do have to be a parent. And so really to be able to provide that economic self-sufficiency, not only for yourself, but for your families as well. Yeah, and through the adult program, since it is in partnership with SSAs, you do have to apply first through an SSA in Orange County, and then you'll be later referred to an adult program like OCAPICA. And I know right now, since there's a lot of closures, SSAs, they are still servicing the community, however, only on an employment basis. And I believe if not all, most if not all services are being done through the phone or online right now. Okay, next slide. Okay, and outside of OCAPICA itself, in terms of the services that we offer regarding employment, there are also Orange County one-stop centers located in Garden Grove and Irvine. Currently, they're still doing appointments only, and luckily though, all workshops that they do offer are being offered through Zoom right now. So if you go through the One Stop Center worksite, you can RSVP to any of their workshops that are being offered. And I totally recommend you checking out their interactive website to access information, especially if you're currently trying to find job leads, what's open right now in terms of employment. They also have different workshops that are facilitated by other people from other companies. And they also can help in terms of looking into labor market information. So if you're trying to learn more about a different career path that you might be interested in and not really know where to start, definitely looking into like an Orange County One Stop Center website might be a good place to start. And then next, I just briefly want to go over EDD or like unemployment insurance as well. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about unemployment right now, and I know that one of the first workshops in this webinar was focused on applying to unemployment. However, as months progress, things get updated consistently with unemployment. So I just wanted to point out that right now that there is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program that's out. It was released about a month ago. So this specifically helps those who originally might not be able to qualify for normal unemployment insurance. So that includes those who are self-employed, contractors, that population. And actually, just a couple days ago, they just started their Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program. And this is specifically for those who may have exhausted their unemployment previously. Now you can receive up to a 13-week extension in your unemployment benefits. So if this does pertain to you, just check your unemployment account to see if there are any updates in terms of extending your benefits.
Liliana, can I ask one question? I'm sorry to interrupt. Are you going to speak of the new funding that came out? I think it was last week for undocumented students, unemployment. It's kind of like, it's the relief. Annie,
yes, I'll be talking about it
sorry.
real soon. Thanks, sure. Valerie.
Thank you.
Yeah, so definitely if any of these pertain to you. I know that it's been very difficult for people to get through to unemployment. Just know that they're trying their very best on EDD end. I know that they're working, I've read that they're working overtime into weekends. And so practicing patience with unemployment benefits is really important. Know that for regular unemployment, it'll no matter what turnaround to get your files or your claim completed and processed is about 3 weeks. For the pandemic unemployment assistance, it's actually a little bit faster. Some people have received assistance within 2 days. But yeah, with unemployment, continue to, if you do qualify for it, apply through the EDD website. And if it's something you do need assistance or have questions for, try calling throughout different times of the day to see if you can get through. Okay, and then up next, I believe we have Annie, who's going to end off with social services.
Yeah, thank you, Lillian, for all your input. I know you're such an abundance of resources, so thanks for that. So I'll be talking about accessing social services during the pandemic, and I'll briefly be going over these specific topics: immigrant relief, like Valerie mentioned, healthcare, and mental health. But there's a lot of other resources out there, and if you ever need anything, please contact us. We're trying our best to help. Okay, so first I wanted to discuss some of the barriers that you all might have faced in accessing social services, because they're all very real experiences. So with immigration, immigration status itself can be a barrier to accessing social services. As advocates for the API community, our policy team works with a lot of immigrant families, and we know that the process can be really confusing for some families, and some families might not be sure of what public services they're eligible for. If you need assistance, you have the right to it, and there are a lot of organizations in Orange County working to help our immigrant families, and so I'll direct you to them. Another social service that is often difficult to access for vulnerable populations is healthcare. So again, the application process here is super confusing, even for me as a native English speaker. So for many of our limited English proficient individuals, applying is an intimidating and really lengthy process. But again, in Orange County, there are many culturally competent healthcare providers, such as Korean Community Services, Southland Integrated Services, and the Vietnamese American Cancer Foundation, to name a few. And lastly, while healthcare is already a challenge to access, mental health services are sometimes even more difficult to navigate for individuals. I know myself, identifying as someone from the Asian American community, there's a lot of stigma to receiving mental health services. But we work hard at OCAPICA. We work hard every day to try to break down these stigmas and provide counseling that understands these issues. And these are only some, but not all, of the barriers to accessing social services. And we know that it's really difficult for many everyday folks to find the help that they may need. But if you need the support, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'll try my best to give you all resources soon. So next, please. So the first resource that I wanted to mention was the one that Valerie mentioned. It's called DRAI, the Disaster Relief Assistance for Immigrants. So this is actually really, really impacted, and we've heard that sometimes people are on the phone for up to 8 hours. But what exactly is this? So it's a state-funded, one-time relief program for undocumented adults. So individuals can receive up to $500 in direct assistance, and then each household can receive a maximum of $100. To be eligible, you need to be an undocumented adult. You need to not have qualified for any federal aid related to COVID, and you have to have had difficulties due to COVID. And so the organizations that are managing these requests are CHIRLA, Kerosene, and AJLA. So if you need to apply for this program, you just call them on Monday through Friday between 9 to 5. and then the information is there. And they have a lot of different languages for you all to call. Next, please. Another program that helps immigrants with funds specifically is the Immigrant Neighbor Fund. So this is different from the DRAI program because it supports immigrant families. So you don't have to be undocumented. But similarly, those who are eligible will receive a $500 grant to cover whatever expenses is most pressing in their lives. The eligibility requirements are that you, again, can't have received the CARES recovery rebate, and then you have to have earned less than $99,000 per household. And then you have had to have experienced an income disruption. So they'll ask you to submit a pre-application to see if you're eligible. So those are the two main resources we know to help fund immigrant families right now. Next, please. Yeah, so while those programs get funds directly into your pockets, we also know that immigrant families are struggling to see which other social services they're eligible for. So there's this policy called public charge, and it considers an individual's likelihood of using social services in their green card application. So this sounds really scary, but please note that public charge doesn't apply to all immigrants. And it only impacts specific social services. So those social services are SSI, TANF, institutionalized long-term care, SNAP, and housing assistance, and a few others. This can be a really scary process, but it's your right to access public services if you need them. And we work with a lot of organizations who provide assistance if you or your family don't know which services you're eligible for. Please contact Access California, Boat People SOS, the Cambodian Family, or the Korean Community Services organizations if you don't know what social services you are eligible for. Next, please. We're also excited to announce that we're participating in a coalition with many local partners called LOVE. LOVE are vulnerable and elderly. So our goal with LOVE is to deliver supplies and food to our high-risk, vulnerable, and elderly Asian American populations. What's special about this coalition is we're providing culturally familiar foods like rice, fish sauce, Chinese sausages, and you can find LOVE on Facebook or online at oclove.org. Next, please. We're also having a way where individuals can help if you would like. We're having a package and donation drop-off. So we need a lot of different donations and supplies in order to get these things and packages to our vulnerable and elderly. So come by if you have any of these materials on Saturday, June 6th, between 10 to 12 at the Vietnamese Catholic Center. And our team will pick them up for you. Next, please. Okay. So moving a little bit away from immigration into public health care. So as I mentioned before, OCAPICA has help with applications for Covered California and Medi-Cal. We wanted to note that the deadline extension has been delayed for Covered California to June 30th. In order to apply, you just call that number or click the link. And then once you process your Covered California application, it will actually let you know if you're eligible for Medi-Cal as well. But if this process is scary to you, you can call our health navigator, Sarah, in order to have her walk you through the process of applying for healthcare. Next, please. Some other really important healthcare services provided by the county are COVID testing. So if anyone you know who's a resident of Orange County has symptoms, they are eligible to get free COVID-19 testing. We recommend that you contact your medical provider first, But locations where you can get testing are the Altamed medical groups in Anaheim and Santa Ana, the Nyanhua Comprehensive Healthcare Clinic in Garden Grove, or UCI Health. So just a reminder, COVID testing is free to all residents. Next, please. Additionally, the county is providing testing for essential workers, whether or not you have symptoms. So if you're a healthcare worker, first responder, social worker, other essential workers, you can get free testing. The appointments can be made at any OptumServe state testing site, and you can call or visit the website. And lastly, we know that this is a really difficult time for you all, and we know that that's a lot of different resources. But we also want to make sure you're able to take care of yourselves and your well-being. So if you need any mental health help, please reach out to one of OCAPICA's mental health programs. Our Well Necessity program offers short-term counseling for up to 12 weeks. Our Project Focus program offers counseling for eligible children and their families. Our Project Hope program connects eligible children to referrals and necessary counseling. Please call if you're interested in any of our services. And all of our services are free. You just have to be eligible. And they're open to all populations in Orange County, not just the Asian American Pacific Islander ones. Yeah. And last, we wanted to remind you, next please, that all of these services are made available because of the 2020 census, or because of the census in general. But we urge you to complete the 2020 census because it only happens every 10 years. And so it'll determine how $1.5 trillion of your taxpayer money is allocated to you and our local communities. So if you don't fill it out, Orange County won't get the funding and resources it needs for the K-12 schools, roads, and hospitals. And it won't know where to direct resources and funding in times of pandemic or other emergencies. So you can fill it out online at my2020census.gov or call. And it doesn't ask for your social security number. It doesn't ask for your immigration status. It doesn't ask for your bank information. It's only 9 questions and it's really simple. Next, please. So our census friends wanted to remind you that you have the power to change your future and your family's future. So please remember to fill out your census. And then next, please. And those are all the resources that I have for you and that Lillian has for you. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Okay, everyone, this is a great opportunity. We got some great information. This is a great time to ask any questions.
They're being shy. Okay, if you don't want to say your question, you can also type it. That was a lot of information, but a lot of good relevant information. So there are programs available right now that you can take advantage of to assist you during this time. I also wanted to introduce our mental health counselor, Courtney Winford, who's on with us. And she has been helping support students at our school through a lot of similar resources well, OCAPICA is one of our partners. We do have a lot of other partners, but do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Courtney?
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm doing the mental health counseling for all of our students here. It is definitely a different time, but what wonderful information we just got from OCAPICA and wonderful resources out there that we can partner with. And just, again, let me know, or I can link you with them as well. Thank you, Valerie and Arlene, so much for this. This was wonderful.
Thank you for attending.
I learned a lot. So
Yes.
the employment programs are really great. Thank you, Courtney. You've been doing so much for students in so many ways. There's rental assistance programs. There's food pantry, like Annie was talking about. The mental health and the medical are really important. So when you have all that, then employment is a lot easier. So as far as employment, is there anyone here looking for a job right now who might need assistance from OCAPICA?
And we have other sources too. Let's say you want to interview, but you don't have an interview outfit, which is so important. Even if it's a virtual interview, you still need to look good from the top up, at least. So that way you have an outfit. So we do have resources for that as well that we can share with you and how to get interview clothing.
Okay, well, I mean, we're here for you. Courtney's here for you. OCAPICA, Lillian, and Annie are here for you. Arlene and I are here for you. So if you want to leave your contact information for OCAPICA to reach out for you, just leave your email and maybe say what you're needing at this time. And Annie and Lillian are very responsive to reaching out to students. If there's no other questions, is there anything anyone else wants to add? Oh, are we able to get a copy of the slides? Yes, yes. Is there a way to share the slides in the chat, a link to the slides?
Maybe if the students who want it, they can leave their email address.
Yeah.
We could forward it to them.
Yes, if you're
interested,
interested,
your name and your email, and we can forward that information to you.
Yes. And then Jorge, can you show them the resources on our homepage also for hbas.edu? For the COVID-19 resources? There they are. So they're by category here, similar to what Lillian and Annie went over. Some of the same resources they went over are also on our webpage for mental health, food, things like that. If you just click on it, it'll show you all the different resources available. But I think right now, for employment, that might be one of the most pressing issues. So thank you,
Also,
Jose.
For mine, we also have a job board. So if you go onto our job board on our webpage, there are over 60 jobs. And those jobs are listed for you, our students, for your family members, for anybody who's needing employment now. I know, as we said, unemployment, some have applied and it has been such a waiting period. And there's those who they need a position now. So there is information on our webpage, and I do believe there's over 60 jobs right now, and I do update it every week once I obtain new employment. And again, those are survival jobs that are listed. If you are in our career tech program, I would not be listing those jobs. For those particular jobs, you would be meeting with me individually, and then we'd be going over medical assistant, billing, pharmacy tech positions together.
Yes, Lillian, and okay, Diana, depending on what it is that you're interested in, I know Lillian is in charge of the youth employment program. So that's the 16 to 24. If you got a copy of the slides, it would tell you who to contact directly for which program. So the adult employment is through a different portion on OCAPICA. And okay, thank you, Jasmine. We'll send that out to you. So there's different people in charge of all the different programs. They gave us an overview of all the programs, but there are different contact people for each one. I work very closely with Lillian on the youth employment, 16 to 24 years old. But if you don't fall into that age category, maybe you have a family member or a friend that someone in that category who needs a job, they can reach out directly to Lillian. And that's one of the big programs we work with, and it's been very successful. They get 300 hours of work experience where they pay the employer for the salary of the student. So it gives them some work experience. The employer gets to try them out to see if it's a good match, and then it can turn into regular employment.
Right.
And that's how a lot of these kind of things work. So yeah, we see you in the chat, and we'll make sure you get a copy of the slides. We're so glad that you found this information helpful. And again, if if you're one of our students, you can make an appointment with Courtney Winford. If you want to go directly to OCAPICA, we're going to share the slides with you. And Arlene, is there anything else you want to say?
Yes. I want to thank you all for participating. I want to thank our speakers. You guys did an amazing job. Thank you to all our students and guests that came today, because it's a Friday afternoon and you could be doing anything this Friday afternoon instead of spending time with us. We do appreciate that you came out. I see also one of our participants is Jose. Jose was one of our presenters for Resume. He's the recruiter from DaVita. And Jose, I learned so much from you, and I've been doing resumes for over 15 years. And on your presentation, I actually learned something new that now I'm beginning to use. So we all learn from these webinars, including us. So we really want to thank you for participating. We want to let you know that you do have support, that we're all here to support you. You have a support team. You have Valerie, College Career. You've got Courtney, who's our counselor, and you got myself. We're all here to support you and to help you out. I do want to ask before you sign out, because we have a couple of people who are on this today who've been on mostly every webinar with us, and we want to acknowledge you. So I want to make certain that Karen stays on. Don't sign off, because we want to talk with you. Diana, we want you to stay on. And Valerie, there's one more, right?
MK Hamude.
Yes. We want you to stay on and not to sign out when everybody else is signing out, because we do want to talk with you and thank you, because we know that you've been to almost every webinar. So we want to acknowledge you.
So we finished it off with a bang, having OCAPICA tell us all these wonderful services.
Thank you.
Including our partner and our counselor, Courtney Winford. And Jorge, thank you for all of your.
Oh my goodness. I always say you're the heart, Jorge. Thank you so much for always guiding us through and making sure that we don't have any glitches. And the times we've had glitches, you jumped on and you made it so effortless, as if there wasn't a glitch. So thank you.
And I also want to acknowledge John Gutierrez, who is also part of OCAPICA, who just joined us. John, do you want to say hello? We can't see you.
Can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Where are you? Where's your video?
Not on right now.
Long time no see. Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Lillian and Annie did such a great job, and our students are so appreciative of the information they shared. We're going to be sharing the slideshow with those who are needing more assistance. So you guys do a great job at OCAPICA. We're so happy to be partners with you. Is there anything you want to say, John?
No, sorry for joining late. I was trying to be incognito. I told Lilian I would do that. Thank you.
No, we're very, very glad to be partnering with you, and especially during this time. Annie and Lillian were so gracious to just jump on board and be one of our speakers. I put them on the spot. I said, can you do a presentation for us? And they were like, yeah, and they combined the employment with the social services, and that worked out really, really well. So great partnership you have with OCAPICA and all your different departments.
Thank you guys for working so well with us too, for honest to present.
Yes. I've been referring a lot of people to Lillian, so she's been busy. Yes. And we're having summer classes at Huntington Beach Adult School. If any of you are interested, we are running an Excel class and a Microsoft Word class. And they will be online, but just brushing up those skills will help you with confidence when it's time to enter the job market. It's a new skill you can put on your resume. They're low cost because we're here at the adult school, and our fall catalog is also online. We run a medical assistant, pharmacy tech, medical billing and coding, and accounting, administrative office type of stuff. And we're right next to Ocean View High School, so hopefully you'll consider taking some classes with us. We have a lot of support services, as we've mentioned. Our partners, OCAPICA, job developer, counselor, and myself, college and career specialist. I help students.
We have one more info session coming up in June.
That's
so
right.
If you're interested, we do have one more info session in June, so you could sit on a Zoom format and you can get some information and meet with the career tech teachers as well.
Jorge, can you show them where they can register for the info session on the main website if you're interested, and then put the link in the chat. So our classes, I believe, are starting June 8th for the summer. And the schedule is right here on our main website. In order to begin any of our programs, though, it is required to attend an info session where you can meet the teachers, ask questions about the program. And the next one is next Friday at 9 o'clock. It'll be just like this. It'll be like a Zoom meeting. So there's our programs: accounting, admin, medical assistant, medical billing, pharmacy tech. And our students get jobs. Our job developer is very good at what she does. Arlene has a lot of relationships with employers where she can connect you with working as a team.
And the beauty of our career tech program is that I'm built into the program. So it's mandatory. You all will meet with me upon completion of your program, and then we work together towards your goal.
Right. So this is a special service we offer for our students. If you aren't one of our students, definitely OCAPICA can help with the employment aspect also. So we got you covered either way.
So any questions before we get ready to leave? Anybody got over your shyness?
Nope. Okay. Well, Diana, MK, and Karen, if you can stay on, this is the conclusion of the webinar. Annie and Lilian, have any final words?
I just wanted to say thank you all again for giving us this opportunity to talk to your students and their families. We want to be able to support our communities and let them know all the assistance that is out there. So feel free, if you ever are in need of anything, to reach out, because help is out there. And once again, just thank you so much. And we look forward to continuing this partnership with you all.
Thank you.
And if you haven't done the census yet, make sure you do that. I've done mine. And usually OCAPICA is in the mall, the Westminster Mall, across from our school where we house our learning center for the diploma students. But the mall has just opened, I heard, but the schools are not up yet. We're still doing things online. But when we are face-to-face again, that's where they're located. But yeah, and whoever showed interest in getting the slides, I'll make sure you get a copy of that. So thank you for your participation. Thank you for attending our series, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, Karen, Diana.
Thank you.
Stay on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Karen.